Hello, everybody. My name is Bart. Good evening. Thanks for coming to this annual general meeting and our lean coffee. So our annual meeting will be followed by a lean coffee on business analysis driving strategic initiatives. Um, we are glad that the host is IT Planet. Thank you for that. And of course, always thanks to our sponsor, Quiz Quiazo. I'm sorry, I always get this name wrong. But thanks to them, we can organize these kind of events on site, and now it's also a hybrid event with an online people. Um, so first of all, I want to thank Lisbeth for hosting us, and maybe you can talk a little bit about IT Planet. Very small.
So, good night, good evening, everyone. I am Lisbeth Wouters from the firm IT Planet. So, we are here to host this event tonight. I work as business director at IT Planet, which means I have a commercial role and I mainly work for the energy markets and the government sector. But I have two colleagues who also have clients in banking and insurance. And so we do the whole spectrum in Belgium, I think, the largest players in the field. And we are a generalist in IT, which means we make the right match between an IT consultant and a client. And it can be anything in development, analysis, a developer, project manager, anything you think of, infrastructure, testing, and BI. I think everything except SAP because it's quite niche. So that was actually all I wanted to say to you. If you know someone who is looking for a new role, or uh, you know someone who, yeah, it doesn't have to be an analyst, it can be something else. You can always ask Bart for my contact information. And for the people here tonight, I have some cards. Just take one. And for the rest, I'm just going to let you do your thing. Enjoy. And I hope it will be very an interesting night. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisbeth. I think we're going to jump in straight away into the topic that we have today, the annual general meeting. Philip Hendricks, our president of our chapter, will present quite officially.
Officially, what does that mean? We'll discover. Yes, thank you. And actually discovered that we are already 5 minutes ahead of schedule because the official start was 18:40, not 18:30, my bad. But that's okay, then we are a bit more relaxed. And as people additionally join us online, they still have time to kind of ease into the evening. This is a bit of an exciting moment, I think, for our chapter, because while our annual general meeting, which is in first instance a legal obligation, has always been public, we've always invited our members to participate and to vote on anything that needs to be voted on. It's the first time that we make it a truly public event. It's the first time that we combine it with an actual regular evening session. And so it's the first time that we are actually seeing other people from our BA community, members and non-members, join us. And I think it's an example of where we want to head as a chapter. We really want to engage the community actively, not just in events, but also in all of our activities. And so while today we have a fairly limited amount of time foreseen to explain a bit about where our chapter is going, what have we done in the past, what have we done last year, where are we heading, we do intend to make this a more active collaboration, conversation, co-creation with our community. So this is a first step towards that future. So thank you for being here, for myself and undoubtedly also on behalf of the rest of the chapter board and team. The event, the day is, or the evening is divided into 3 parts. First, we have a small part about our chapter strategy, look back, look forward. To inform you, any feedback is very welcome, and also as a kind of inspiration for the lean coffee, which will be about strategic business analysis, or business analysis and strategy, business analysis driving strategic decisions, I think is the official title. initiatives, yes. So it might be a source of inspiration. How does the chapter define strategy? How detailed or vague is it? And things like that. After the introduction about the chapter strategy, we have a brief moment to do the formal annual general meeting where we will present a few standard legal things about our finances and where some board member changes will be announced and officially, hopefully, by our members confirmed. You never know what happens. And then there is the largest part of the evening, which is the actual lean coffee, which will be hybrid, but not together. We will do it on site here, and Bert Heijmans will be facilitating the online lean coffee as well. About the chapter strategy, I always like to start with looking back, because if you can look back, then you can always have a better look towards the future. We're actually already active since 2010, officially. So that means that in 2020, we were able to celebrate our 10th anniversary, which was a very nice milestone. And the past 2 years, we've been rewarded or recognized by IIBA for a number of things. In 2021, we received as a chapter the Community Outreach and Engagement Award. In 2022, we received the Volunteer of the Year Award. In 2023, we received the Marketing Excellence Award. And in 2024, we'll have to see if we can continue this line of recognition. We'll see. But there are many chapters. I don't know by heart. I think there are 140 or 120 chapters. So there are few awards, but still, we'll see. Nevertheless, I think this is a nice way for my IBA of saying, we believe you are doing good things. We see you are doing good things. And it's an engaging way to keep us going. Which kind of triggered us to think about maybe it's good that we emphasize, that we showcase the things we are doing more actively. We don't need to be too humble. We can be promotional. And so that's why we had the idea of creating an annual report showcasing what we have done in the last year. I'm not going to go through all of the 40 plus slides. Lisa, one of our new team members, has did an amazing job to consolidate all of the information about events, about volunteers, about finances, and so on into this annual report. We will be sharing it on our website in our wrap-up email, and I invite everyone to have a look at it and see, okay, what are the things that the chapter has been doing? And there is also a brief outlook already included, I think, for 2024. So an amazing piece of work by one of our new team members, which brings me then to the strategy forward. Actually, the strategy has been kind of created or written down already in 2022, looking 5 years ahead. And the framework, the starting point of the strategy, in Dutch we usually say the kapstok, is RISE, Rise of the BA Profession and Professional in Belgium and Luxembourg. And RISE is an acronym for Reach, Impact, Support, and Engage. Key focus for us is on the reach part, because we believe that we are doing, and we sense that we are doing relevant things for our community and with our community. But if you look around in the room at our events, typically between 20 and 50 participants, and if you then check on LinkedIn the number of people with just business analysis in their tagline, there is still some room for growth. So reach with the current activities is definitely something we should be striving for. We are striving for. We will go through a number of things on chapter level first, and then per domain, like professional development, like ambassadorship, like events, to show you what are the plans ahead. At chapter level, I will be doing it, and then the different people that are taking the lead in the different domains will also take the mic and share briefly their plans, their ideas. So two key things that from a chapter perspective should help us in growing as a chapter is one, local event hubs in combination with hybrid events. Post-COVID, we've noticed that people don't like to travel far anymore to the center of Belgium from anywhere in Belgium or Luxembourg to participate in an event. So the idea popped up, can we grow into local, smaller communities that are closer to our participants and reach them more frequently, more actively? This is something we are doing in combination with hosting partners that also help with marketing, and which also should allow us to grow beyond Brussels and Flanders, where we did the majority of our events pre-COVID, towards Wallonia and Luxembourg, where new team members like Pacific, like Munir, like Alberto help us out in growing or initiating the activities in those areas. And hybrid, because COVID learned us that people like to participate in things online, and it allows us to reach also people outside of Belgium, which is a nice part of being part of this global community. So that is something we will keep on doing with the help of new volunteers. Also, Bart will be taking over the lead for the events, is a great help to make this happen. And then the second thing that was part of the strategy 2022-2027 is initiating an advisory board where we get together with people with multiple backgrounds, professional services, traditional commercial companies, non-profit companies, academics, to get input on what do you think we need to do to help support the growth of business analysis in our region. We had an advisory board first half last year. We have not had a chance to organize a second one, but it's definitely in our plans to do so. And thanks to the team growth, I already mentioned a couple of new team members. There are a couple of new potential team members in the pipeline. And also thanks to the chapter enablement platform, which we are migrating to, that should help us with easier administration, more lightweight administration. We hope to be able to do more of these things, and it will also allow me to focus not anymore on events in general, but specifically on Wallonia and Luxembourg, and organizing that advisory board a second time and continuing it. And then finally, because we've promised to limit us to 3 minutes per slide per topic, there are also some strategic collaborations that popped up fairly recently with IREP, even at IIBA global level. And IREP was also participating in our BA and Beyond conference recently. And with PMI Belgium, they were also a speaker at our conference. Slim is also participating today as a participant. And we have an event end of August scheduled also. So there is also a collaboration, which is for me more of a strategic, has a more strategic aspect to it as well, to increase our reach in our big community. That's my part. And then I think the next part is yours, Bart.
Thank you, Philippe. So it's me again. As Philippe mentioned, events at IIBA Brussels is an important part of our activities. When we are organizing events today, we have our events in Belgium, like Flanders, Brussels, Wallonia. We will increase our how do you call it? Footprint. Thank you. Our footprint in Luxembourg also, thanks to Munir. I will explain that also, I think. But when we are talking about organizing events, we have some expected results, of course. We have increased participation and engagement. What does that mean? Actually, it means that we want to enlarge the involvement of our volunteers, of our members, but also of the larger BA community. We're not just talking about members, we are talking about also non-members. We want actually to build a stronger community of BAs in order to give them a qualitative network where they can better connect, better collaborate, because that's what the events are all about. We want to learn from each other. We want to exchange experiences, knowledge. We want to see which views people have on different kinds of topics. That's the goal of these events, of course. How we are going to do that? Well, we want to offer consistent quality of events. Okay, so I was at the point of consistent quality of events. We want to offer consistent quality of events during the coming months, during the coming years, organized and planned in a durable and sustainable way also, because it's important that we can have a good rhythm, but when organizing these things, that we can get people to participate in the organization and in the events themselves. So that's important for us. What is also important, what Philippe also mentioned, is the local hubs, of course. Local hubs like in Ghent, Antwerp, Brussels, Wallonia, Luxembourg. That's something that we want to achieve also. So local hubs, important, what also Philip mentioned, these local hubs are in our strategy. We want to achieve this in the different parts of our region to increase our footprint. And also it's important that people that are living in all parts of Belgium, BAs that are living in all parts of Belgium, that they can come to our events, get the quality and the value that they need and that they want without having to drive hundreds of kilometers. So what's important here is for these local hubs, and it's actually a kind of a call to action. We need also the support of our members, of our volunteers, in order to be able to organize these local hubs. So we are reaching out actually to give you an opportunity also to speak up, like, okay, if you want to be able to take part in this organization of local hubs, you can call out to us. We can connect together, set these things up together. We will guide, we will support. That's, I think, a nice initiative and a nice challenge for the coming months and for the coming years. If you look at different kinds of events, different months throughout the year, different topics, well, we need the diversity of events, of course. I listed 4 examples. Like tonight, we have our Lean Coffee on BAs driving strategic initiatives. We offer also, or we want to offer also workshops. The example given by Philip in the end of August is a nice example because there we are going to do a collaboration event with PMI, where PMs and BAs will be working together in a workshop context with case studies and similar things around a central theme, which is stakeholder management. So that's a nice evening to exchange with other people also. And in the future, we want to offer specialist panel discussions. Like last year, we had one with on data. We could organize things around other topics like artificial intelligence, business process management, soft skills, etc. And the last but not least, we also want to emphasize that we want to organize presentations that are done by experienced speakers. We will do a call for speakers from IIBA. So if you feel also online here present, if you feel the need, the urge to share something about a topic and you want to be a speaker, you can of course connect to us, call us out, and we will help you in setting this up. So that was it for the events at IIBA Brussels. It took some more time, but that was a technical reason. I think I have to invite Munir now to the stage.
I'm bald head. Thank you. Yeah, sure. So first of all, I'm delighted to be here. And despite the long distance, I have to say Ghent is a very nice city. So at least from this perspective, just the continuation of what Bart was explaining. Because what started as somehow a dream, maybe 1.5 year ago, about, let's say, giving a voice to business analysts in this world where everybody is going so fast. Everything is going so fast. So basically, in a very humble way, we would like to organize some, let's say, regular events. And this is basically what Bart mentioned, to have consistency in the events. And because we are starting the chapter, we would like to push as much as possible for in-person, because in Luxembourg, it's not that big that people cannot travel. Slowly, we will introduce more hybrid, more online, also to be open with the world. And this is what I like about having people from the US, South Africa, or whatever, and to mention only them. So that's a great opportunity also for people to see other perspective of the business. I didn't try it. So basically, these activities are in line also with the RISE, which is not the methodology of SAP, because I mentioned this already once, but the reach. So in terms of reach is what you see here, in terms of organizing events and so on. Not that fast, it's fine. And basically for each topic, we try to have something which is in line with this. So we will not be able to do everything at once, but here what we are sharing is few of the things that we are planning. So if I pick one of them, which is in line eventually with Bart finished at the end, something is missing, is promoting the IIBA, because what I noticed in few events we organized in Luxembourg is not everybody is aware about IIBA, surprisingly. That's one thing. And the second thing is the decision makers should also be made aware of the necessity of doing business analysis and so on. So I think for me, it's like very exciting to be here and very exciting to, let's say, share with everybody later on success. And success being for me that people at the end, every time they meet, they leave an event, they leave with a question or with an answer. And that would be the right thing to happen for us. So thank you. And
Thank you, Munir. Uh, First of all, since a few years I'm ambassador. Before I was the president of the chapter. Luckily, we are here today with two also other co-founders, Patsy and Philip, which is also a nice occasion, I think, worthwhile mentioning. Ambassador, what's the meaning? You can see it on the slide. It's a person who represents, speaks for, advertises particular organization, group of people, activity, or brand. An authorized messenger or representative, it has different meanings. It can be also unofficial, ambassador of hope, goodwill. So on, just to get back, what is an ambassador? What is the meaning? Sometimes a lot of expectations were raised on the ambassadorship within the organization. So I thought, let's go back to the meaning and let's see how we can enroll that in the organization of the IIBA Brussels chapter. So first of all, representing the chapter at events, initiatives, where the chapter's presence is preferred. For example, BA and Beyond, Philip is a chapter president, but also the organizer. Maybe it's good to have someone else from the Brussels chapter also, if needed, representing the chapter. CIO of the Year, Data News organizes this already for many, many years. We are there already present for quite a few years. This will be the third year that we are present. We even have managed to get business analysis into the application. If a company says like, we have ICT project of the year, they want to apply, they have to put answer a few questions on business analysis, something we managed to organize, which is for ICT project of the year, nice achievement, I would say. Engage with the BA community, the BA Cafe, Philip, myself, and Christian, also one of the other volunteers. We are always, some of us is always present, sometimes all three of us. So this is something we started at 2020 during COVID, and we're still doing that, and we're still doing good. And we have a lot of people from all over the world. Munir said, from United States, from Canada, from Brazil. Once in a while, someone from South Africa, and even from Australia. So that is something we would like to do, not only in Belgium and Luxembourg, but also around the world. Foster awareness about our chapter, what also Munir mentioned earlier, and what our chapters or IBA can offer. Connect with relevant organizations, the PMI example that Philip just mentioned. So sometimes there's an overlap. Not all the roles are in silos. There is quite a few overlap, and we have to collaborate as a team for those kind of stuff. So other chapters, we have a lot of connections with other chapters, not only in Europe, but also worldwide. Sister organizations like PMI, educational provider, academic institutions, to search for synergies, collaborations, partnerships, like maybe go to a career day of one of your university, maybe organize a guest lecture by one of the team members, to inspire and lead by example. This is what I had to share. And the next one is professional development.
Good evening, everyone. So in terms of professional development, we've taken quite a journey the past couple of years. Of course, professional development for each and every IBA chapter, this is one of the core activities, of course. So with that, we continue to hope to orientate non-business analysts towards the BA profession. Especially in Belgium, we see a lot of interest in, let's say, traditional education towards business analysis, but also in the so-called second chance education. More and more people already having a certain experience within a professional domain and wanted to change orientation, orient towards business analysis. So It will be a continuous challenge for the chapter, as it was in the past, to maintain and to cultivate relationships with those educational organizations. So it's not just colleges, universities, no, also other instances, organizations such as VDAB, for example. This is a main important point on which the chapter will remain vigilant and active for the coming years. Obviously, traditionally, we continue to support starters, juniors, mediors in their BA career. We can do this in many different ways. There is the world famous Babok study group that we organized this year for the 6th time, if I'm not mistaken. I even lost track of it. So this is one of the most popular initiatives we have, guiding young people towards IIBA, towards the Babok, understanding the Babok, how does it work. We're also preparing a bit behind the scenes the POA, the product ownership analysis study group. So last year, a couple of persons got together around the common interest for the POA subject, and now we're working towards the preparation. So it's for the moment a sort of internal study group, but we hope for the coming year, so 2025, that it might become an initiative next to the BA-BOK study group, and that also may be so successful. Also, obviously, it should remain one of our main goals for each and every person, despite the level of experience they have, that the IIBA Brussels chapter within Belgium and Luxembourg will continue to act as a sort of a career beacon. People looking in Belgium and Luxembourg, I want to become a business analyst, I want to grow as a business analyst. If they open up Google figure of speech, they should land on our website, they should land on the IIBA website, and we need to be there to guide and accompany those young people. And actually, we do notice for the past 2 years, we get an increasing number of questions via our general email box with people, how should I get started as a business analyst? What certification is adequate for me? So this is very encouraging. So we receive more and more interest. Also, of course, we haven't mentioned the seniors and the experts yet. So of course, we need to continue to engage with them. And yeah, of course, we want them to participate actively in our community, within the IIBA Brussels community. I think both Stefan and Bart already mentioned quite a few events that are organized. But if there is any person present here today with little or no experience, but with a heart, with a passion for business analysis, do get in touch with us. Do join the community and do share your questions and your experiences. This is how we make each other grow as professionals. And of course, let's not forget our conference, BA and Beyond. Well, it grew a bit beyond our conference, of course, because it was in 4 countries this year, Denmark, the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. So again, here, kudos to Philip and his team for the organization of this. So there are many possibilities to engage within the community, to put yourself in the spotlight within the community. One of the other possibilities that was highlighted earlier today was already the advisory board. So should the next series of advisory boards be organized? Well, this could be something interesting to all of you. So, but that was it a bit for professional development. I don't know if Philip wants to add another word to this, because it's a bit special that I present professional development, as I will be leaving the IIBA Brussels chapter as a board member for professional development due to personal and professional reasons. Second child, that's one of them. But what I can only highlight is that the motivation of the rest of the board and the team members to continue with this most important activity. And if of course the board allows, I would be most happy to remain on board as a volunteer and an ambassador for the Brussels chapter.
Yes, so I can only confirm that on behalf of the board, we definitely intend to continue with professional development, as it is at the core of what a chapter for an IIBA community needs to do. That is obvious. I also will take, during the annual general meeting formal part, some time to thank Robin for his efforts so far. And obviously, again, as a chapter, we welcome any kind of support by any kind of community member, big or small. So the fact that you stay available, active as an active team member is a great way to help ensure that continuation. So thank you already for the past efforts and also for the future efforts, unless, of course, the entire community votes against you leaving our chapter board?
From a Marcom perspective, well, Marcom embodies the strategy and supports, of course, the chapter initiatives. First of all, our first aim is the reach of the wider business analysis community. How do we do that? We want to increase the reach of our newsletter, our monthly newsletter. LinkedIn is also key in our Marcom strategy. And of course, we will also target additional groups, not only in Belgium, but also in Luxembourg, by having meaningful interactions. A second important point for Marcom is also that we want to inspire to give back to the community. And we will do that through content curation, by finding and sharing excellent and relevant content to our community, and also invite you to share your sources of meaningful materials for the community.
We've already mentioned quite a few of the team members. Here is the full view on all of our active team members today. So you see it's starting to be a nice group, and it's starting to be a group that is also moving downwards, southwards, towards or inwards to Wallonie and Luxembourg, which is nice. And it's also nice to see someone from the Netherlands representing the global aspect of our community. And at the same time, this is a good moment to thank everyone for their contributions, because this is all volunteer work. It requires additional time and efforts on top of all of our busy daily lives. I've been giving workshops for 3 days in a row, so sometimes my tongue starts to get tired. So thank you for all of those people with their involvement now, past year, in the future, and in the many years beforehand. If there is any thoughts, suggestions, feedback on this strategy, on tangible things that you want us to do, you expect us to do, that you want to contribute to, please do not hesitate to get in touch. The more the merrier, for many different reasons. And with that, I will now move towards the formal part, keeping track of the agenda and the timing of the annual general meeting, which consists of the following elements. So first, we approve the financial statement of last year. If that is approved, we can discharge the board for 2023, meaning that we are safe, legally speaking. We've done a good job. Then we will approve the budget for 2024, and then we will have some board member updates. For practical reasons, the legal board member is separated from the, say, executive board. We call it the committee. So the legal board member is what is mentioned in our bylaws, because we don't want to go through the cumbersome efforts of updating that every time there is a board update. We usually keep that stable. The actual board in practice is the committee, as it is called here. So first, regarding the financial statement of 2023, the overview is that we had a positive net result of almost 4,000 euros, which is mainly due to the membership fees and the BA study group last year. The expenses were mainly related to external activities, events, and our advisory board, and some smaller expenses. And at the end of 2023, we had a cash position of plus 11,000 euros. And what we noticed also is that in terms of, and I'm now going to switch screens to a more detailed. So what you see here is that in terms of the revenues, we almost exactly predicted the amount of revenues, magic. And in terms of expenses, we spent less money, mainly because there are 2 expenses that are being shifted from last year to this year, which is marketing expenses, buying new goodies to give away at our events. We didn't do it last year, we will do it this year. And the organization of the POA study group was also, the purchase of the guides was also not done last year, we will do it this year. So the unexpected positive result, or higher than expected positive result, is due to expenses being shifted from last year to this year. First vote, are you agreeing that this is a good representation of our finances? So the people online, and maybe Bart can check if the people online say yes or no, can say yes or no in the chat. The people online that are IIBA members with process affiliation, and the people here can do a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you are a member. So that is the first formal part. The second formal part is, as I mentioned, the discharge of the board saying that they did a good job. Yes or no? And then the budget for next year. Next year's budget looks, in terms of contents, similar to this year's. And again, the revenues is mostly related to, or all related to membership fees via IIBA Global, external events, which is the BA Box study group, and subsidies and sponsoring, which is basically our sponsor Quasar Services, with plus 5,000 euros. And on the expenses side, we have a similar expense overview as other years, with expenses for events, marketing material, BABOK guides for the study group, some gifts, an advisory board that we intend to organize again this year, and then some things for internal activities, about team-related things and about the POA hard copies. And so in total, we see that this year we expect a loss of about 1,400 euros, but that loss is due to the shift of expenses that we did not do last year that we are doing this year. So basically, the net result of both years is still positive, which is the intention. What we did not include in this yet are details about potential expenses that we might want to make in our new event hubs, Wallonia and Luxembourg, because it's a different environment. They might require different kinds of investments. This is kind of the guiding framework at this moment. We will have the conversation with the people in that community to see what do you need to make your chapter, your event hub thriving. And then, of course, we will reflect this also in our budget for 2024. With that information, do you accept the budget for 2024? Okay, that is a yes. Maybe as a side note, obviously part of the intent of making these kinds of conversations more interactive will also include sharing this kind of information more actively throughout the year, so that you can basically come prepared, have any questions, suggestions upfront, instead of now quickly in between things, let's say. And then the post-committee member updates. Robin already announced it that he decides to end his term as a committee member for professional development lead. I already see a downvote. So, it's bad that he's leaving, yes, interpretation. So as I said, a very, very big thank you for being an active board member for the past 5 years, starting the BA Book study group from scratch. First time, it was a very big success already the first time, and we were able to continue that. You are participating online, Robin, but there will obviously be also a gift that is being sent to you shortly to thank you for your efforts. But I think the biggest thank is the thank you that we can all give you as community and as team member for your much appreciated efforts, and also for your for being conscious about the time you spend, and about the fact that you don't have more than 24 hours in a day, because it has been taking quite a bit of work, and the fact that you can honestly say, I'm not going to be able to commit to that level of effort anymore, but I will continue with whatever I can, I think is a very good action to take. So obviously we need to also formally approve that Robin may leave the board. Do we agree or disagree? It's a bit of a strange question, but it can make sense from a legal perspective that you say, no, there is finished business that you need to take care of first. So that's kind of the rationale behind it. Robin agrees. Okay. I actually don't know what our bylaws say about that. Can you vote for or against yourself? That's interesting. Okay, so with that, this point is also accepted, approved. And then we have the 2 new board members that we want to bring on board that volunteered to become board members. First, you have Bart Verbeke, who wants to join our board in the role of events leads, freeing me from my task of doing it ad interim. what do we think about Bart given his introduction. And then finally, we have Munir, who also has introduced a brief view on his plans for Luxembourg. This was a brief view. There is obviously more behind it. Who volunteers to join the committee or the board in the role of Luxembourg Events Hub lead, starting the event hub together with Alberto. Do we approve his participation in the board? Also there I see a yes. That's also good. Go Munir, I like that. So with that, the entire agenda has been processed. All the points have been approved, and we can then now move on to, and I think we're almost on time, the lean coffee part of the day. Hopefully you are somewhat inspired by the view on some of our strategic ideas. And I will then hand over the things to Bart on site and Bert online for running the lean coffee.
I want to have the last word, but it's something like that. Basically, today I came from Luxembourg, so which is quite far away. I will stay over the night and leave tomorrow. And one of the reasons I did it is, beside the engagement of all people here, is this gentleman who somehow convinced me that this is the right things to do and the right move to do. In order to leverage our community in Luxembourg. And I've seen the kind of effort he puts in. So there is no vote for you, but I would like to do this. So voilà, that's it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.